Yeah, I've already done that. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Settings and
I'm starting to think that the stomach thing is nervous stomach. I
okay.
think I'm nervous. I think I'm nervous
Okay.
to record because my stomach is misbehaving again. And it's like it's the second I hit record, it's like, nope, you don't want to do this.
Very interesting.
It's so irritating. Should I go or should I stay or should I work through it? Because
I
now
mean,
we're
you
live.
can
I've even said
go.
on
Like
Twitter.
we are live. I mean, if you want to go, I can like talk to the
It'll
people.
just be 2 minutes, but like, all right, just give me 1 second.
Sure. I can talk to the people and I will just do this because we are live. Hello, everybody.
I'm so sorry.
I'm here by myself. Hi, Patrick Keller. Jessica just left me. She had to go potty. I have this thing here that I want to get out of the way. Here we go. Like that. Yay! What should we talk about today? I mean, we do have a few list of topics and things to talk about, but what did we just correspond about? Oh, sweatshirts. Sweatshirts. We just talked about. So I am not wearing a sweatshirt right now because I think that my my heated self, my internal regulatory temperature thing happening is a little off. And so I get like really hot and very cold. And then my audio is going out occasionally. Oh my God. Well, I don't know what to tell you, Patrick Keller. I hear something. Hello, hello. Hello. I hear some stuff in my ears too. I don't, maybe a YouTube thing? Could be. I don't know. Let's see. I'm trying to figure this out because, oh, you know what? Oh, great. I like how I was going to go like, oh no, I have to know. I have to now go too because my kids have to take out some stuff out of the oven because they're cooking for themselves. Oh, and did I text Randy? All right. So, what should we cover today, folks that are showing up here? Jess will be here in just a moment because she decided she was going to go live and then left promptly. I haven't heard you going out on Facebook. Oh, Jenny says that. Oh, look, Jenny, I see your name. It's better now. Got it. So maybe it was a YouTube thing. Thank you so much. You eat lunch after. Okay. Hello, Cheryl. Oh my goodness. I am actually in the process of trying to get our show notes done for the feed, which is going to be going live hopefully tomorrow morning. And we answered one of your questions, Cheryl, and I think we used a little, no, did we use your feedback from the last episode? I can't remember. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing okay. I wish I had more show and tell stuff. I used to have show and tell stuff. Oh, you want to see my latest tool? This is my tech tool that I've been using that is the best. I discovered USB lights. Okay, so it's this light. It's so cool. So it's really long, as you can see, right? And it's got a little USB thing on the end of it. And I find this to be so helpful because now, like, if I'm writing on my journals or I'm doing something on a desk, and what ends to happening is that the light from the ceiling, when it comes down and I'm leaning into my desk, it like gives me shade. And so now using this, it's so great because then I get a little USB hub, right? A little charger, a battery. You put it in there and it's so bright. Look at this. I have a thing here. Hi Jess, we're back. I'm showing people my little USB
Hi,
thing.
sorry about that.
Light. And it's so like it has three light settings. Here's one light,
The
and then
hell?
it goes chink chink. And it's so cool because I can just put it on top of I'll leave it on my desk, right? I'll just put it on my desk and then I can move this thing around to shine the light.
Whoa.
To shine the light wherever I want. And then I can just turn it off. And then it's so easy. I can literally stick this. It doesn't weigh anything. I love this thing. Oh, look, you have a show and tell. We have news. I know, Jenny, I did see those stickers. Have you seen those stickers? Jess, is there
No.
any way that we can show them? Go ahead and show
Yeah.
them in there.
Hold
You
on.
could, Patrick, you could use this to use when your husband is sleeping for sure. You can just have it and have it like it wraps around everything. I love this. It's fantastic when the lights go out too. I love that too. So I have to, now I'm going to leave you alone, Jess. I'm going to leave you alone because I
Where are
have
you
to make
going?
sure that the kids are eating. So I'm going to
Okay, go
just
ahead.
because their food has to
All
get
right.
out of the oven. I'll be
Status.
right back.
I don't know if I can copy this exact thing. So let's see. Oh, is this them? These must be them. Look at these gorgeous stickers. Oh my God. I love it. Aw, these are great, Jenny. Aren't they pretty? Well, go to twitter.com/reprosfightback to get a copy of those stickers. They are so cute. Wow. Flashback to when Elsie had to go wipe a butt.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right, dears.
For both
Let
of
us
what do you
begin.
say? Let's not flash back to that. They are so fun, Jenny. They're great. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
They're beautiful. I love
really
them.
cute.
I saw them as well. And
They're really cute.
yeah, why don't you pack up and have it just in case? So cute. Okay.
Yeah.
Let
all right.
us go.
Let us begin, shall we? All right, I'm ready if you're ready.
I am ready. So 3, 2, 1. Press
Wait.
record.
Okay, got it. Hello, testing, testing.
Testing, testing. Okay, say hello, Jessica.
Hello, Jessica.
Hello, Elsie.
Hello, Elsie. There you go.
Okay. All right. So we have our show notes ready, and you are welcome to go and get started. And we're just gonna take it as it
Dive on
stands.
in.
I'm gonna move something up real quick.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a couple of
okay,
quick.
well, I'm gonna start the show while you fiddle with the notes. Ready?
Okay, go.
Hey everyone, welcome to She Podcasts, the podcast, episode 406. I'm your co-host, Jessica Kupferman. With me, as always, the ever diligent Elsie Escobar, who is moving our show notes around. I wonder if we could get all of the different things I've said about you in one clip.
That would be funny.
It would be funny. I would like to see that, just to see all the things I've said about you. I mean, I ran out of stuff pretty early on after I started this and just had to start commenting on what you were wearing. Because there's only so many adjectives, although I could just make a list of a bunch more I've never used. Anyway, Elsie Escobar, Jessica Kupferman, that's us. We're here to talk to you today about podcasting, so let us dive into it.
All right. So we're going to just start off with a couple of really lighthearted things. Not lighthearted, but fast. One of them is actually a tech tip / update that I just read. And I was a little bit concerned about because it kind of impacts a lot of people. And that would be, this is from the Rode team. Rode, as in the people who made the Rodecaster Pro, that a lot of folks use, or the Rode Pod Mic, which a lot of podcasters use as well. So we talked about last week about the Apple event that just happened, and there are going to be some OS updates that are coming for both iOS and the Mac and whatnot. But Apple recently announced its latest major update. This is Mac OS Sonoma. And it's currently in beta, so it has not been released, and it will more likely be rolled out, very soonish here. But something that I did not know that is of concern, that if anybody has an Intel Mac, okay, so Intel Mac, not an M1 Mac, not an M2 Mac, not an M3 Mac, anybody with an M in their processors, on their mics, on their computers, do not have to worry about this. But anybody that does have an Intel Mac, the Rode team is saying for you not to update because it means that it's not going to be able to read, or it causes compatibility issues and will likely mean you cannot use your Rode product with your device that is running macOS Sonoma. That's big. And that
That's really
means
big.
AI micro, the NT USB plus microphone, pod mic USB, the video mic Go 2, the video mic NTG, wireless Go 2, the wireless Me, the wireless Pro, and the Rodecaster Pro 2, and the Rodecaster Duo, which is a lot of stuff. So bummer.
Well, you wound down pretty quickly there.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying
but
that it's like a bummer. That's a bummer that's happening. It sucks it sucks that it's happening, and you're going to have to be wary about what's going on with your stuff. So sorry, people. I just wanted to let you know about that. So again, Intel Macs only, not those people who are using M1 Macs. So like I have a Mac Mini that is with a Mac, an M1 chip. My MacBook Air also has the Mac 1 chip, so I don't have to really worry about it. But for anybody else, I'm sorry.
So I guess you're gonna. What are they gonna have to do?
I have no idea. I guess they're gonna have to figure it out as soon.
Good news tip. Thanks, Elsie. You're
I'm here to keep you guys happy. Enjoy us.
Yeah. Is it an Apple fail or a Rode fail? Asks Patrick.
You know what? I don't know if it's a fail. I think that there's something probably in the way that the Rode built their apps and connectivity with some of this, and what Sonoma does when it updated the OS, when Mac is getting better or more. I don't know. I mean, I don't exactly know the technical details. I'm assuming it's a both. It's a both.
I mean, maybe it just requires one. Maybe it requires Rode to just do some maintenance so that they can be
some updates. They're going to probably have to rewrite some things in there, though. That is
because I doubt that it's an Apple fail, because they don't give a shit what they're not compatible with. Like they could not possibly go through every update and be like, "What's this not going to make not work anymore?" Because it's an infinite amount of things.
Oh yeah, they don't care about any of that stuff. Yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't call that a fail. I would just call that not having time to deal with everyone else's problems. Whereas Rode, on the other hand, they have time to deal with an Apple problem because it's a big problem for them. So, but it's not a fail. It's just they just need to update.
They just need to update something, right? So hopefully they will update, and that is it. I mean, that's it for those news. The other small little thing that I wanted to bring up is, Threads. You can now search in Threads. Yay!
Yes.
Who's using Threads?
Able to do that before? Not me.
No. Who's using Threads? I am.
You're still using
I like Threads. Yeah, I like Threads.
Okay.
I like Threads a lot.
That's good.
I like Threads.
All right.
I use it on now. I'm happy because now I can use it on the computer.
I mean, that is good.
Because before I had to use it on the phone. You don't think
it's going to be the next Clubhouse, though? Just the way that everyone's like on it and then off of it? Like, what's the point of it?
No, you know why? Because Clubhouse was not attached to a gigantic user base like Meta.
True.
Clubhouse was its own thing.
But Threads is not really you can still post pictures and videos.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly how is it, in your opinion, what is the biggest differentiator between Threads and everything else?
It's not X.
Is that the only differentiating feature, is that it's not Twitter or X or whatever?
Yep.
That's it. So it's exactly the same, but just not owned by Elon Musk. And therefore
it's not X. It's not that. It's not that place. Yeah. It has a different vibe, and I enjoy it. I've been enjoying it. I haven't been doing anything other than just enjoying being there. I think it has potential. It's
Right.
probably the only new
Yeah.
social media platform that has the vibe that Twitter used to have, that isn't having to start from absolute scratch, because everything else people jump into, but it's not like, I don't know. It's like it's everybody's everywhere right now, right? Blue.
Yeah.
Have you used Blue Sky?
No, I don't even never even heard of it. What is it?
So Blue Sky is like it's built by some of the Twitter people,
Mm.
and it has some people that have invested money in it. It's got some great stuff happening for it. But it's also
This is like
problematic
Mastodon. You
because,
need a server or provider or some shit, right?
well, no, you actually don't. You don't. It's supposed to be built in a decentralized system. I just saw an article that I read about, just talking about Blue Sky altogether. Oh, it was on the Buffer website of all places. It was a really great. Hold on, Buffer blog. I'm going to see if I can find it right now, just because they do such a good job. Oh, I'm going to put it in the chat there. It's a really wonderful article, and I'll put it in our show notes as well. So just check it out.
Okay.
It is. I'm going to put it. I'm just going to grab this here and stick it in there. It really breaks down what Blue Sky is as a whole. It explains to you what Blue Sky is, what the differentiator is. It's got a whole bunch of screenshots in there so you can actually look in there. And this author really did a breakdown of what the good, the bad, and I believe the ugly at the end,
Okay.
because optimally, in terms of the ugliness of it, the challenges with community driven moderation has been really bad in there. Inconsistent communications, potential for misinformation spread, lack of clarity on data policy, potential for platform fragmentation, which is true, right? I did get an invite for Blue Sky, but I just didn't. I mean, I just got my handle. I think that's about the extent of it. I don't think I've even set it up. I don't think I've logged in
Mhm.
since then.
Right.
It's a lot. So all that to say that Threads, I do feel, is the one that has the least amount of restrictions to be able to get on it, right? Because it's built into something a lot of people are already using all the time.
Right.
This other stuff you have to go out of your way to go find and use and whatever.
Not to get
So,
off topic, but when I just searched in Google buffer blue sky, it gave me the opportunity to turn on AI search engine content so it could guess what I'm looking for. But
wow.
then when I typed it in again, it didn't give me anything impressive. Like it didn't give me remotely what I was looking for. That's why.
Oh, wow.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
that
just
ain't the
a side
AI is
track.
just coming up everybody's behind. So
Mhm.
anyway, that's what's going on with that. And in Threads, I haven't really used the search as of yet. I think that the other thing that's going to keep me from using it more would be, like, I want Threads to be added to places like Buffer, Agorapulse, HubSpot, like all those places, to add it as a destination so that you can add content to it from a brand
Mhm.
perspective. Because there's two places that I want the Libsyn team to be more involved in. And there's no way to do it unless somebody is manually doing it. And I cannot justify asking anybody other than myself to
Mhm.
manually be logged into their devices for both Threads and YouTube, which are the two places I want to take advantage of. The YouTube
Mhm.
community, which I think is great. Like, I want to really use a little bit more doing posts in there, because YouTube community has like these really wonderful ways. It's kind of like it's totally like a mini Twitter, mini, thing there. And Threads is just, you can't switch. So if I'm looking at the Libsyn account, I can't switch to look at mine. So I'm either have to be logged, like I have the Libsyn threads on my iPad and I have my personal on my phone, and it's so annoying. That's all I
Yeah,
have to say. I can't switch, and I hate that.
that is annoying. That's
So
not
I would
cool.
use it more if we could switch accounts. Easy.
Interesting.
The end. Do
The
you have
end.
anything
Okay.
interesting that you need to share with us today, Jessica Kupferman? You didn't add anything to the
No,
show
I
notes, so
mean, I
I'm
did
talking
not.
all by myself.
But eventually, I would like to discuss what it was like to visit your house in person
Oh,
because
right.
we've not talked about it on the show yet. And after 10 years of giggling about the way the other person lives, I think it's only
Mm.
fair that I discuss my experience with visiting Elsie Escobar and staying in a corporate yurt, a glamping yurt
That's right. You did
5
remember,
minutes
like,
from her house.
so for
Yurt
those who
rat.
have our OG listeners, we did have a whole episode that was probably one of our funniest where we were
Yeah.
talking about the yurt, the rat yurt.
Not a
That's
yacht yurt, a rat yurt.
rat yurt.
But yacht yurt is funnier because, as usual, you've transposed them. Yacht yurt. That is the name of this episode. Yacht yurt. Please. Yacht yurt. It's a rat yurt. It was a long time ago when Randy was still building yurts, right?
Yeah,
And
and
I don't even
it's like,
remember
yeah,
what it was.
totally. It was that little house you now see. It's the little house that's behind where the goats are. He was building
Mm.
that.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
that
it
is
was
a
a
yacht
while
yurt.
ago.
I guess it is.
Yeah, so it was.
Anyway, so yeah, so we don't have to talk about that now, but I would
Oh,
like
it's
to
when he took it.
regale.
Remember when he took it out and then he took the rat out? Like he drove the rat away. Remember that?
Yes, yes, now I do. He had to drive it away. Where did he take it? I don't remember.
Not close to our house. That's where he took.
You think he just threw it in Chimney Rock River or whatever's
He
there?
would not
That lake?
throw it. He probably like gently opened
Tried
up the
to just swing
door
it
and like sweetly moved it out.
sweetly. You know, I have
Randy
a
is a
friend that
very
had a
like he just loves the animals and the insects and stuff. Like he's just not a murderer person of any
I have a
kind.
friend that had a rat for a pet, and they ended up having to spend $1,000 at the vet to keep it alive. And I feel like that's where I would draw the line between pet and vermin. I
$1,000.
mean, I don't think I
That's
would
your
pay
line.
$1,000 to keep a rat alive. I don't care how much I enjoyed his company. That's just not gonna it's just not gonna happen ever. They're not that I you I'm sure people can love rats, but I don't care. I would not
Yeah.
spend $1,000 to keep one alive. I would for
No.
a cat or a dog, maybe. Hamsters on the fence.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's a good boundary. But anyway, all right, we can chat a little bit. Let's chat a little bit about that. And yeah.
all right. So as you know, or if you don't, I was emceeing a birthday party near Elsie's house. And I didn't figure it out until I was like actually booking the flight that it was so close. I mean, I knew she flew out of Spartanburg and I was flying into Spartanburg. I just did not know how close it was. It was very close. So I thought, how can I waste this opportunity to see Elsie in person? So what ended up happening was I flew in 2 days before the party and then rented a car, which happened to be the most ridiculous rental for where I was going ever, because they gave me a Dodge Charger to head up the mountain, which was dumb because, like, you know, like, I mean, it didn't really give me any hassle like while I was driving it, but like going to the yurt, there was some gravel roads and like a really steep incline, and I don't think a Dodge Charger is meant for that. It's meant to like piddle around on the open road, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So I'm driving and driving and driving, and I did take some video of like the mountain getting closer and closer and closer, and then me starting to like go up the mountain. And I mean, let's just say this: like, I know Elsie is from the city of LA, and that she does a lot of like she's done a lot of city traveling and she's done a lot of, sorry, public transportation and shit like that. But I'm not from the city. I'm from a rural area. So what Elsie described to me was like, she made it sound like in a sea of trees, an oasis of a house, a small tiny house in the middle of nowhere would be, like I would just have to drive until maybe I found it. But it wasn't exactly true. So like if you do live in a rural area or if you grew up near mountains, which I did, you drive up mountains. I mean, shit, hold on. I just turned on music again. Why does this keep happening? That's terrible. I wish that would stop. Okay. So you like right now I drive up a mountain to go to an orchard for apple picking. And that was similar to driving to your house. When I went to summer camp, you drive up a mountain to get to summer camp, and that was similar to driving to your house. I will say that the signs on things were super old, like that's the first time I think I've seen a post office with a handwritten sign that says post office on it. Like that was surprising. That was a shock. I haven't seen that maybe
Also,
ever, but certainly not for a long time.
I know which one you went to. So, by the way, I don't know. I can't remember if I talked to you about this. I promise you'll finish your story here, but I told you that I got a notification and that said your package is no longer being delivered. It's being held at the post office. And then it had the address of my post office, right? And I was like, I need to get this because we were leaving. We were actually going to leave town the next day. And I wanted to get this stuff prior to when we left. So I literally came out of whatever meeting I was in and I was like, Randy, we have to go to the post office, which is 5 minutes away from my house. And we need to pick this up. Yeah, it's right there. And so I go, we need to pick this up. It says on the text message, it's here at the Mills. Like it gave the whole thing, the area code, the whole thing in there. And I was like, okay, it's right here. So off we go. And I literally just got that. I walk into the store, into the post office, and I said, hi, something's being held here. I got a text from the post office. And mind you, this is true from the post office. I wasn't a spam thing.
Yeah.
And he looks at me and he goes, today? And I said, yes. And he goes, you know that there are no post office mail people who come here, right? And I was like,
what?
No. He goes, there
How would
has
you
not
know that,
been.
First of all.
Right. And then he goes, there's no one that comes here that's a male person. You have to go to, and then he mentioned the nearest town. And I was like, but it says Mill Spring, and it says this place where I am. And he goes, well, that is not right. There's no one that comes here to drop packages off. You need to go to this one. And I was like, what? And yeah, so all that to say, the post office with the handwritten note, whatever, is really there for PO boxes, I guess, because they don't do anything. There's nothing else that happens in the post office.
There's no so weird. So that explains why no one's updated the sign, though. That explains that a little bit.
Yes, that would be it. And yes, it was at the other place. I did call them and they were like, oh yeah, why did somebody I guess it was, I don't know. It was like literally I was talking to my neighbor that I've lived with for the past 50 years. That's how it sounded like when I talked to the other male person. They were like, well, how so nice to meet you. And it's right here. Da, 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 da. And I was like, oh, they're so cute and lovely. And they're like, well, why was a handwritten note on top of your package that said for us to hold it? And I'm like, I don't know, but it was
how
sent
would you
me.
know again?
So
they act like you're in charge of the mail more than they are.
Yes. So
like they're asking you questions like you work there. It's nuts. That's nuts.
Yes.
But yeah, so yeah, the closer you get to her house, I would say the further along like civilized things are. But there is on the corner a gas station that looked like it probably had snacks and sodas. Is it walkable? No, there's no sidewalk.
We have walked to it, but yes, it is a life or death situation. No.
Let's just say it seems like it would be dangerous, but it's not because no one's up there, right? But like So you can just
Right.
walk on the road and hope no one comes, and you have a pretty good shot of that happening, really.
You have, but
Um,
the cars drive there really fast, so you will get
they
murdered.
do, that's true. I did
Yes, and
learn that
that's
as
why there's
well.
lots of little, like, crosses on the road.
Mm. Oh, because 'cause
So
they're graves?
yes.
I thought there were just a lot of, like, overly Christian people. Those are
No.
grave sites? Holy shit, that's really
So you have to
dark,
not be close to
actually.
the
That's
road. You
kind
gotta
of
move out of the road, like, away from but it is close. It's like a 10-minute walk. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm glad I didn't know that when I was there. Thank you for waiting to tell me that, because that's creepy, kind of. Um, so yeah, so she has me come to her house first because she doesn't trust me to go to the yurt on my own, and, I have to say I'm grateful I did that because she was able to help direct me to where this little place was that I was staying and decipher the confusing um road signs, because some of them have what they say they're supposed to have on it and some of them don't. And then when we got there, I think you were worried that I couldn't carry my luggage, although I was able to do it. It was hard because it was gravel. I couldn't
Yeah.
exactly roll it. It
Yes,
wasn't easy to
really.
roll. Then
You
we
gotta
couldn't find the
pull.
key.
Right.
Yeah. So I am glad that you did that. That was kind of nice. And the yurt itself was like nicer than most places I've stayed in New York City. In
It's
fact, it
so
was
nice.
definitely nicer than places I've stayed in New York City, including friends' apartments. It was nice and spacious and had an enormous bathtub and a rain shower and a fridge and a sink and everything you would need. It was great.
Yeah. And the bed
Um,
with the big opening to look at the sky.
Yes, the bed had a skylight, so when I woke up in the morning and I opened my eyes, I could see the clouds moving over me. That part was so nice. I wish I had had more time to, like, piddle, and, like, hang out at the yurt, because it also had a really nice porch, and it was right next to, like, a little sitting area where you could just stare at the mountain, and the mountains there are not like any mountains I've seen here. They are, and I've never been to the Grand Canyon, so I know that I'm overstating this, but, like, it is much more like visiting a historic monument type place. Like, the mountains are way bigger than anything I grew up near and way more, I guess the word is magnanimous, or I mean, they were just like, they took your breath away. She took me to a little place to have lunch where you sit overlooking, or the mountain, I guess, overlooks you really. You can't overlook the
Mhm.
mountain because it's like really high up. Um, and it was like a winery. So they had beautiful wine and we had amazing food. And then we just sat and like stared at the mountain and people like, you know, piddling around down there. So like, so not very far. I would say 20 minutes is like a beach town where they have like a little, I mean, what probably is meant to be a boardwalk, but you can't have a boardwalk with no beach. But it's like, it like, it kind of like, it has everything that a beach town would have. It has the fudgery and it has, kites and it has flip-flop stands and t-shirts and all the other things. And then the beach is just, a lake, which I didn't get to go in because I was curious to know if it was like the lake where I grew up, which is like mostly seaweed, or if it's like clean. What would you say? Is it
I
like a
think that was
seaweed algae lake, or is it like a sort of like a beach but not
it's a
moving?
little bit of both, and I'm not sure if it depends on when you go. There
Mm,
is some seaweed in it, but it's not crazy. And when you go in it, you can feel it's very sandy. So there's a lot of
okay.
sand in the
In the
front
water.
part, right? And then the deeper you go into it starts to change into like more, I would call like what muddy or whatever
Yeah,
as you move
slimy, so the
forward.
algae probably.
Yeah, and it
Anyway,
does become but there it's not so bad and there's not as many rocks either. It's not too rocky.
mm,
It is
it looked really nice
cool.
and peaceful.
Yeah, but there's no I think my biggest concern about that beach is what I kept telling you. I'm like, there's no cover. So if you go and it's hot, you better have some
Mhm.
kind of umbrella or lots of something to
Yeah,
cover your thing because it'll be hot.
that is every beach, by the way. There are no trees usually at the beach. You have to bring your own umbrella or rent one. That is
Yeah,
consistent with beach
it's
living,
true.
I will say that. Not a lot of shade at the beach, but you're supposed to
This
bring
is
your
true.
own. But yeah, that part was really nice, and it was not as far. I honestly thought I would have to drive an hour just to see another human being based on what she had described, and that wasn't exactly true, but I did try to see it from her perspective, which is this is the most rural it could possibly be compared to everywhere else I've ever been. That is true for her. I would say that's true. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, and even, so I mean, I was like, I mean, she made it sound like if she screamed, no one would ever hear her. And I don't think
Right.
that's true. Might be a while, but someone would eventually. She does have neighbors that are walkable, and the goats would hear her. So that's something. She had me
That
walk
is true.
to see the goats. That was fun. I mean, and where she lives is fun, and it was lovely. It was so beautiful. I will say that it was the most beautiful place I think I've ever been, especially to someone's house.
I know it is.
Um,
It's quite beautiful. But mine, by the way, when I'm telling you like there's nothing around here, it's in that same sense that I was saying, as in you don't do the everyday things. Like if you go outside and if I go out and take a walk, I'm not going to be like, hey, hi. You know how you do that? Like
yeah,
when you're in your neighborhood, maybe you'll see somebody and you can kind of like give them a little nod and like, oh, it's, you maybe see them more than one time in there.
yeah. Like I
That's,
have people walking their dog by my house every day that I can
yeah,
wave
yeah.
to. She does not have that. There is
No, that
no
does not happen.
stranger dog walking.
No, there's none of
This is
that.
the weirdest this is the weirdest thing that happened to me. I stopped at a fruit stand on my way to her house on the last day, and
It's a
this is a
veggie
fruit
stand.
stand. It's a vegetable stand that just has vegetables and prices on it, no people, and a little box. So that
Yeah.
if you take a vegetable, you should pay for it, and this is what they suggest you pay for it. And there was another guy there. We were both on the honor system checking out the vegetables, whatever. And I was like, I don't have anything like this. He's like, where are you from? And I said, near Philly. Well, he was also from Philly. What are the chances of that? Like, what? How? Of all the places in rural Mill Spring, I
Yeah.
find someone who grew up right where I live. It's so random. But yeah, I ended up being able to like get her a few things from there just so that I could give her. I don't know. It was just fun. It was fun. Being there was fun. I would like to go back there soon. I would like to take um my boys there, and I would like to take Scott there because it's very peaceful and very beautiful. And actually, the one thing I thought of what I was kind of sad about is like everywhere you look is an amazing hill for sledding, and you probably get no snow because
We
it's so
have
south,
got yeah,
right?
we haven't gotten too much of it. But we did get some for like a couple of years ago, and the kids had a blast. It was so great because even just outside, the picture you just sent me,
Yeah,
that was
that's
amazing.
a
It's where
perfect
they
sledding
did it.
hill.
They literally just
Mhm.
went up and like they just went up
Yeah,
and
her
down.
yard. Her yard is a perfect sledding hill. It's just that I know you don't get that. I mean, because I don't get that much snow, and I'm like way further north than you, and we haven't had snow in a little, since he was young, like, since Isaac was like 3 or 4, we haven't had good snow. So, like, I can imagine then that's wasted on people in North Carolina, the snowy hills. But anyway,
Yeah.
it was
It's
really
but it's
nice and fun.
it is beautiful.
Her
And I
kids
do
were
have the
lovely.
grocery store is there. There's a did you go to the grocery store at all or did you
I
just
had it
order from the
delivered. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
you have it
ordered
so
from the
you
grocery
never
store 'cause
actually went to the grocery store.
I didn't go
Got it.
inside, no. But I think, I mean, it looked like it fine. I mean, you didn't have that the whole time that we've been friends. That's new.
No, no,
So,
no,
like,
it was
all of a sudden,
there.
you had a local grocery store, right?
No,
Or no?
no, we did have it. It has always been there.
Mhm.
It has always been there. It's yeah. That's not a thing. The thing that wasn't there was the Starbucks.
Yeah,
So
now
there's
it's a little
now a
shopping center.
Starbucks inside the grocery store that didn't
Yeah,
used to be there at all. And that's another thing that I don't have is little local coffee shops that you could just go to and like
yeah,
chill out in. Like there isn't really that. Even when we went to Chimney Rock, when we went to the restaurant and whatnot,
yeah, there isn't that.
there's like a little place, like it's just
But it
they're
was
just not there.
closed. It was
Right.
5 PM and it was closed.
Yes, and
Everything
everything
was
does close at
closed
5. Everything does close at 5,
at
that's the other
5
thing,
PM.
it's
That
like
was so weird.
and the
That
other
was
thing
weird.
is like, well, I
Even
don't
the
even remember what day
beach.
it was. It
It was
was
like a Tuesday or a
it was a
Wednesday
Tuesday, that's right, it was a huge so that's the other thing you
in the
never know.
summer.
You have to check to see what's open and what's not. Because I think when we first went in there, I'm like, "Oh, let's go to this Italian restaurant. Oh, it's closed. Oh, look, they have a sushi place. Oh, that's closed. Hey, look, this is
It
the
was
ice
either
cream. Oh, that's
closed
closed too." Like,
It was either closed or packed.
yeah,
Closed or packed. Every place was either closed or packed. That was so bizarre. That was really strange too, because it's a beach and there was no one on the beach at 5 PM. It was closed on
it
a
was
Tuesday. Just
closed.
that made no sense to me. I didn't understand that at all.
Yeah.
Um, Speaking of that grocery store, I just got my shopper's card for it yesterday in the mail. I didn't even know I
Oh
signed up.
my
They must
god,
have signed
Jess.
me up so I could get a discount. when they
You
did my
always
order. Because
sign
I was like,
up.
why do I have what is Ingles? Like, it took me a minute to figure out what it was. I was like, when have I been there? Are we building one? Oh, then I realized where it was in North Carolina. Because I was like, where did that even come from? It was weird. Anyway,
Yeah, but it was very nice. It's very pretty, and I did really dig that little
it was
place you
really
stayed.
pretty.
It's the perfect little sort of staycation.
Mhm.
And I was telling Randy, I'm like, oh, that would be so fun for us to just even go there because you can
Yeah.
rent the house, right? You can.
Mhm.
So the yurt is for
We have cabins too.
the yurt. I think how many people? I know definitely you can get two people
Probably
on
two.
that bed, but I think that you can
There's no
get
couch really. So like, yeah, I would do two
yeah,
people and then a sleeping bag maybe for another one. But the cabins have an upstairs and a downstairs. You can sleep
yeah.
4 people in there easily. And each one has its own hot tub outside, which is nice.
Yeah, and it's very well kept. It's very
It was
pretty.
very clean. Mhm.
It's and you do have access to get food in there, and it's also very reasonably priced, right, Jess? It was
Yeah, it was
like,
like 100 something for a
yeah,
night. Yeah.
it was
I
like
would rather go there
very
than New York City any day.
yeah. That's actually a really great place to do like because I was thinking too, I'm like, if you want to do a little work retreat or something like that, like if I were to
Mhm.
be like, if I was writing a
Yes.
book and I needed like to write
Yes.
a book, I would go there. Right? It's the perfect
Yes.
little away place
It's a
to
little
do
oasis. Mhm.
yeah, it's so cute. It was very, very nice to see it. I was really enamored by that yurt, in all honesty, because it's like I don't think I've ever seen a yurt that is that fancy.
It was
Um,
pretty fancy. I mean, we could totally do like a photo shoot in it. That's how fancy it
yeah,
was. Like, I
it
would
is
be
very
totally
beautiful.
comfortable taking pictures and shots there. Yeah. Patrick wants to know if you have bears.
We do have bears, Patrick. They have not come directly, like super close to the house. We also are very careful about food, meaning we don't put any food scraps in our trash. So
Yes.
we're
Just tell them where it
constantly
goes, Elsie.
in the compost bin. Oh, and then and the
No.
in the
And the
freezer.
freezer.
It goes in the
I
freezer.
couldn't give her extra ice because her freezer was full of trash. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's not trash. And I open it and I'm like, oh, wait, it is literal bags of trash in her freezer. She freezes the trash. That was new.
Well, first of all, okay, let's break that down. 'Cause you know what I didn't
Could
take
we?
you out to see is the
What?
compost. I didn't take you out to see the
Oh, that's
compost.
true. I would have liked to see that. Yeah.
So the way that I deal with trash is obviously the trash as in like that is not living in any way, like
Mhm.
the plastics and wrappers and just paper and things like that go in the
Mhm.
trash. Okay? So that goes in the trash. All of that stuff goes in the trash. And then when I'm cooking, anything that is fruit or vegetable or grain goes into the compost bin. So that go I have a little like white plastic bucket thingy right on my counter and then I'll just put those scraps in there. So again, those are the food scraps. But if I have any cheese or any kind of dairy or any kind of meat that is left over, that goes in the freezer because you can't put that in the compost bin. Number 1, number 2, I can't have that outside. It's just going to rot and it's going to call animals. So we don't do that. So we put it in the freezer and then ran like today. He's actually going to town with the kids, but then tomorrow is trash day. So he has to take that's when he takes all the trash. And sometimes it takes a little bit for him to go take the trash away. So there's no way I'm going to have that trash out there. And when he does, remember, there's been a couple times, Jess, when I go, wait, I have to go get the trash. Now you know what I have to do because when he's
Yes.
going, I go, and at that time is when I remove the stuff from the freezer because I don't put it out there unless I know he's going to the trash. Because if that dethaws or
Right.
thaws, then it's yucky. It's like stinky, bad meat, dairy yuckiness. And we don't
Oh,
want that.
I can't even think about
So,
garbage smell without gagging.
yeah, no. And so
There's
that's why
not
there's
really a lot
no,
of yeah. That's why you put the trash in the freezer. There not only is there no video of my visit specifically. I mean, I took some video when I was driving around, but not of us together. We even forgot to take a selfie together. which is so dumb. I have more pictures of our food than I
I
do of
take pictures
all
of
of
my
us.
food too.
Not
Why
one
did
picture
we
of us
did we
together.
not?
I don't know because we were busy. Because we were busy chatting, busy working, busy talking to your kids. We were having fun. It's okay to have fun and not take pictures. I'm okay with
Yeah.
it.
And then when we ate, like I considered, you know what? I considered taking a picture, and then remember when that big pack of girls came? That big
Yeah, it was like a
giant group.
bridal party or some bullshit.
Yeah, and I was like, I just feel weird. Like all of a sudden I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to stand. Like it seemed
We
like
were
they were
there
like
with like they were all named
21-year-old.
Taylor and Madison and Brooklyn and Aiden and Kaylin
Yeah.
and Karen.
They
Like,
all had the same type of outfit, same hair,
yeah,
same makeup,
yeah, it was weird.
like super
Oh,
young.
you wanna see my scar from my did I show you this last time? It's pretty gnarly.
You did. I don't think you've shown the people. So Jess is now showing the scar. I
You
think you
can't even
showed
see
last
it.
time.
It's
It's doing pretty
terrible.
good. I see it.
Yeah. Huh? It's
Oh,
hard
look
to
at that. I know. I like it. It's
anyway.
there.
It's
I
like
see
I'm
it.
Frankenstein. Okay, anyway. That's
Patrick says that
I
his husband freezes trash, some trash. So I
mean,
see
we
that.
used to
I mean,
compost, but we never froze
and
it
by
for
the way, Jess, and
yeah.
I guess I know that you would have been not happy to look at the compost because it is kind of gross, and your gag reflex is like
I know.
amazing. Like you
I know.
literally, like I don't even know. I don't think I've ever
I
seen
know.
anybody do that. Like
Gag
you
as
do.
easily? Well, you've met
Yeah.
my son. He's the other one. Yeah.
Well, yeah. But anyway, but what's really cool is the compost bin is on the outside. We've been living in this house for a while now. I think like almost 4 years in this house.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that compost bin is just barely hitting half full.
Mhm.
And I've been putting our food scraps in there for almost 4 years. But
Mhm.
listen,
And
you don't like the I know that you feel like you're going to gag about that, but it's actually fruits and vegetables, and what happens? It doesn't smell.
no, I know, but
It just disappears. It becomes dirt.
I can't
4
even go in my
years worth of food.
garage. But our trash is in the garage. I can't even go in there even if the door is up. I have to hold my breath until I go all the way out because it's stinky. I can't even think about it without gagging.
Oh my god. Like, and that's why but the only trash that stinks is the meat and the dairy.
Let's stop now, please. I can't.
Oh my god. Look at
I
Jess.
don't have
It's
a
like I
trash.
seriously
I
can't.
don't have a trash can to throw up in. I'd
Oh
have to
my
throw up in my
god.
coffee, and I don't want to.
Literally,
Can we not?
I don't even
Right.
understand. You would never be able to be a good gardener.
I
You would
actually
not.
want to be a gardener. You're
Yeah,
right.
but you would be throwing up all over your plants.
Because of what? Worms? I don't mind
Yes.
worms. They don't smell. It's the
Well,
smell of trash that hurts me.
okay, but that's the smell of your trash because I'm telling you that compost bin does not smell.
Okay, I believe you.
It's just
Sure, you're
regular
right.
stuff. It's like, so that's what's really, because you would think so. Anyway, you would think so, but it doesn't. And that's the point. It's great. And then I sit there and I like move it around and it just decomposes in a good way. It
Yeah.
destructs all on its own and becomes the earth. La la la, says Patrick.
Right? Because it's
La
gross.
la la la. Oh my
So
God.
I'm not the only person who gags at the thought of 4 years worth of trash and
It's
that
not,
smell.
it's food scraps. Should I have just said that? Food scraps. It's food scraps. It's fruits and vegetables. It's fruits and
It's
vegetables.
not better. It's not better.
It's fruits
I
and
went to my
vegetables.
mom's house when she was sick with cancer. She couldn't clean her house, and I
That's not a
opened the
compost
cabinet.
bin.
I opened the cabinet underneath the sink and smelled potatoes that had
I
been
remember that.
infested with maggots,
I know. I remember that. And you had a hard time. I
and
get it.
I couldn't clean it because that's how disgusting it was.
Well, that's a
Somebody
different
left.
thing. It's
Somebody
not.
stopped listening. We have one less listener now because of this conversation, I think.
Well, we've already talked about this story. In fact, we had to give an explicit tag when you said, well, oh no, it was when I was talking about my experience, which we're not going to talk about now. Somebody can listen to our back
Oh yeah,
catalog to
no,
listen to that one
no,
experience, but
please,
we're not going to
please.
talk about that anymore because that was,
No maggot
no,
talk. No,
we're not
no,
going to talk
no,
about
no,
that.
no, no, thank you.
So yeah, no, thank you. So we're going to close out the show today by
You
talking
want to talk about
about
Coop? Yeah.
what? What did
I
you
said,
say?
you want to talk about Coop?
Coop. Oh yeah, we're going to talk about Coop. We're going to talk about Alex Cooper, who I've been talking about and reporting for years now. And I'm just going to put this stuff in here because she's been getting a lot of coverage. And the thing is, we were off from recording when this happened with Alex, which is that she and her fiance have launched a new network called the Unwell Network, where she is going to be creating content for Gen Z folks, essentially getting like her personal clones, if you will, people who are appealing to the same demographic as she appeals, talking to the same people. I thought that was so smart because I think the issue that I started to see with Alex Cooper, is that when she started podcasting, she was 27-ish, around that, 26, 27. And when you're 26, 27, she was like partying in New York and talking about just like partying and sex, and that's it.
Yeah.
And now she's not that. She's a millionaire. She
Right.
has a fiance. She is a lot more mature. She's gone through years and years worth of therapy. She is quite amazingly much more mature. There's so much that has happened with her as a whole. She's grown so much. You cannot be talking about the same stuff you were talking about when you're like 26, you know?
I mean, yeah, she's like
So
32 now, but that's the same thing as us too. Like, we don't talk about the same shit we talked about 10 years ago either.
right, exactly. But she has built in this huge, following. So she was very smart. She got just the younger versions of her to
Yeah.
do a couple shows. So that's kind of amazing. And I'm just like, wow,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
So she started to do that stuff, number one, and she is going to be launching season 4 coming up. They've done a whole rebrand. I really kind of dig what they've done in terms of the Call Her Daddy rebrand as a whole. It's now red and it looks great. Her artwork is looking on point. I'm really digging what she's doing, and she's really following in on getting some big name guests, like some biggies. And now she's kind of part of the PR loop. Like, that's a place you want to go now. You want to go on Call Her Daddy for a very specific conversation. And that's kind of like the PR for movies and conversations around projects and things like that, which is really
it's on
great.
the list, like going on the Tonight Show now, which is cool.
Yeah, she totally is, which is really great. And then she's also doing a lot of one-on-one kind of stuff, as in like with the whole mental health conversation. She's still really leaning into that, which I think is incredibly helpful to a lot of people. She's doing a lot more video content, which she is directing and making sure that, she knows how to put something together. She's now just not as hands-on as she's been in the past in terms of creating her podcast. Obviously, she has a team. There's a studio that they're going to be going into. So she's really grown a lot and is expanding a lot. So I'm proud of her for doing that. I think that I miss parts of that middle Call Her Daddy phase. Like I never
The struggle
aligned with.
phase a little bit.
I'm sorry?
A little bit of like the struggle phase where she's coming up and coming, but not quite.
Yeah, and it wasn't struggle as in like she didn't make it. I think it was because I appreciated her having the non A-list conversations with some sort of B-list or people you didn't really know too well, conversations around dating, sex, and mental health. And now, because she is in the PR, like kind of like the Tonight Show, kind of a loop there for those big stars. When you're dealing with bigger stars, you don't have the ability to be as candid about conversations anymore. Like, there's a lot more what you will or will not say. There's a lot more thoughtfulness in terms of what questions you're going to ask. And she still asks questions that other people
That's a choice,
don't.
though.
No, she still does ask questions that that other people don't. But here's the thing, and this is the fine line, Jess. She is putting it out there as a safe space for these A-listers to go to. And if you're going to be a safe space, you have to respect the star's boundaries and not go over the line. Because if that gets out to other people, she's not going to be able to book those guests. They're not going to want to come on. Right?
Right.
So,
that's true. It'll be too controversial. I mean, that's true.
But
it's something to think about. Like, I feel like I went through that phase. I'm coming out of it where like I was begging for sponsors. Therefore, I couldn't say what I wanted to say about people that I wanted to say about. And if I'm not doing that, I can be free to say and do whatever I want, which is better.
Right.
You know, so that's probably what's happening with her too, is that like once you're afraid of pissing people off, you no longer can be truly authentic. That said, I'd rather have $30 million. So I think you can be scrappy without hurting people's feelings and being, I don't want to say politically correct, but you know, she just has to be less of an asshole. But I think it's a good thing for her. That's all.
Yeah, and she's never really actually been an asshole.
No, she's never been an asshole, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. And she has had
you're younger.
And you know, they cover everything that she has in there. She covers everything like not she covers. The media covers whenever she has a guest in there and they will report on it. And it's like, oh my God. Like she had Gwyneth Paltrow on and she asked, who was better, Ben or Brad? She asked that question.
And what did she say?
You have to go watch.
Just tell me the answer.
I think that, well, it was the Gwyneth answer was very like, she said something like, technically, I forgot. She said somebody was technically better, but like overall.
I'm going to Google it. Like, hold on. Who is better?
From Gwyneth Paltrow, like on Call Her Daddy. She's got there's a quote. I'm telling you, there's a quote. I don't want to not quote it properly, but I was just like, can you imagine being able to ask that question to Gwyneth Paltrow? Like, who was better? Who?
This was just back in May, it looks like. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, it was written about a Scary Mommy. Oh, you have to watch it. She said both were good kissers. I don't like guys who are looking in the mirror all the time. Neither of them are high maintenance. Brad was sort of like major chemistry, love of your life kind. Ben was technically excellent.
That's what it is. That's what she said. That's what she said. She goes, yeah.
So that's very interesting. That's very interesting. So Brad did not have the skill, the technicality. No. She said they were both lovely. I know.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah.
You know, engineering is important. That's all I'm saying.
Technically excellent. Well, see, also, but here's the other thing. It's like, what does that mean? Technically, as in like,
technically,
their bodies,
as in he read the manual and knows how to work the machinery.
Yes. Okay. There you go. That's what I got out of it.
Technical means like they have like engineering skills, whereas love of your life is more like your whole head and heart is swept away. So the technical
Look at this. Like, he caught me at this. Oh my God, the Elsie's now. Listen, the reason I'm smiling too is because those guys were hot during our time being younger. Whereas right now we wouldn't be giggling over like, what's his name? The one that like is dating Kylie Jenner right now. What's his name? I can't even say his name. The Dune dude, the dude from Dune. He's got that name that I can never remember.
I just saw this article and I can't remember his name.
And he looks like a little baby rat.
I don't Google over Timothy Chalamet. Is that who you're talking about? Yes.
Like, I'm not going to be like, ooh, did it. Like, I'm just like, he's
almost not a dude. He's very pretty. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with being pretty, because both Brad Pitt was also very pretty.
Yes, but he was a ruggedness to him, like masculine. He was rugged.
Yeah. Rugged. Timothy is more like almost like making out with your sister, I would imagine. you know,
Well, I don't think that
not at
that's
the
it,
start.
but it's like more like, you know what? Sorry, like,
No, he's also
yeah.
too young. He's very
Yeah,
young.
it's just like it's a little, yeah.
It's
So
not
anyway,
it's not
so Brad and
ideal.
Ben for sure are both, they were hot. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? You were like right
Yes.
when we're old now. And they are old
We
and
are.
they are also not too bad looking still. They're nice
No, they're
looking.
great.
They've just lived their
No.
lives and we now know how much of assholes both of them are. So that also lessens the hotness vibe.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty attracted to dudes our age still. Like
Me
if I
too.
look up like actors that are in late 40s, like Leonardo is my age. Leonardo DiCaprio is my
I
age.
don't have any
Um,
kind of
Ryan
anything for
Gosling,
that.
Cillian Murphy, Ryan Reynolds, John Cena, Jason Momoa. He's actually a little younger. He's too young for us. Chris Pratt is like 79. I mean, I guess it's
Or Harrison Ford. That's right. Harrison Ford's still looking pretty. You know who I
no, he's
really
too
think
old.
is like hot is Sting. I think Sting's still super hot.
Too old. I cannot date dudes that are the same age as my dad. That's the only
Is Sting
problem.
the same age as
And
your
like
dad?
I don't know, but if they were adults when I was a kid, I can't do it. Like Harrison Ford was Han Solo and I was 10. That's off limits for me. It's 20-year difference.
Oh,
I can't do that. My dad's only 25 years older than me. So those are daddy's age. Like
oh.
my dad was young dad. So like anyone his age is like what's his name? Sean Connery? No.
Wait, yeah. Well,
Sting, not really.
Also, what's his
Mick
name?
Jagger? No.
Those other two, like De Niro and what's his name? The other one? Like how
Robert
do
De
they have
Niro.
just kids? They
What?
literally just had a kid. De Niro and what's the other guy? The one that's Scarface guy.
Al Pacino just had a
Yes.
kid?
Yes,
That's
both of them
unheard
just
of.
had
That's
kids.
terrible.
Like
I know Mike
literally
Douglas
just
has
had
young
kids.
kids too. Michael Douglas has 12-year-olds, which means he was like 60 when he had them. And I
That's
just
right. Al Pacino. I mean, how old
I
is that
know
dude?
that
Like in their 80s.
80. They're both 80. They have to be 80. That ain't
It's
right.
like
I mean, my dad
cray
is
cray.
a little younger than 80. That's not okay with me. I don't know why we're still talking about this. Okay.
Okay,
I'm
enough.
very sorry. We got distracted. I'm very sorry.
Brad and Ben distracted us.
Yeah. As they always will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I think we're
So
done.
this has been, yeah, we are gonna wrap up now. Thank you for being here with us though to talk to us about this. If you have some opinions about what people under the age of 30 you'd be interested in sleeping with, please give us a shout. Feedback at shepodcast.com. I currently don't have anyone on that list.
I have none either.
I don't think. Under 30 is maybe hard. Maybe let's say let's just never mind. I'll stop
Under
talking now. Okay.
30.
Yeah, because like there's some models that are under 30 that wouldn't hurt my feelings if they showed me some attention.
I
But
just
like my
couldn't. That's too young. Under 40.
okay, 40 and under. Anyway,
No,
yeah, my
like
daughter,
how about 40 and up? Not an under, because 40
yeah,
and under
40 and
could
up,
be
not under.
17.
That's true. I can't. I mean, I'm with you. I'm with you, Cheryl. My son is 25. So like between 25 and 40, I can't date someone as old as my kid.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I could, but I wouldn't. I often forget that I'm old though. That's part of the problem is like so I saw a meme recently that said Gen X is the only ones we're the only generation that was 30 when we're 12 and now that we're 50 we're still 30. That's very true for me. Like
Mm.
I feel equally as mature and responsible now as I did as a 13-year-old and I mean for better or for worse. I don't really still feel like an adult, but also I know I'm not a kid. So yeah, 25 is off limits because it's the same age as my kid. But I don't know, whatever. Okay. So anyway, to see today's show notes, please go to shepodcast.com. Also you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and probably anywhere else, Pinterest, I think, at She Podcasts. I'd love to hear all the celebrities you have a crush on. So again, send that to feedback at shepodcast.com. Otherwise, we will see you next time. Thank you so much for being with us. We love you.
Mean it.
Bye. All right, so I'm going to hit stop on the recording.
I also like that I was like very on brand talking about compost and wearing this shirt.
Yes, eat pure food. It was
right?
delightful. I agree. Yes, absolutely.
What number is this?
All right,
407?
406. I'm gonna have to go barf now from all the garbage talk. So thank you for that.
Come on now.
Started music again. Then I don't know. I don't know how
It's,
to make
e-
it stop.
it's every time you
Which one makes
touch
anything? All right.
your things. Okay, I'm done. Here, guys. Thank you, everybody. You guys are amazing. We love you. And we're going to transfer some things over to John.
Can't hear you. Hold on a second.
And Jess is talking. Wait, why is this? Why is this doing
Anyway,
this?
seriously, thank you guys for being with us.
Yeah.
You're the only young person I can even think of that age. Oh, wait, not. What about Tom? Tom Holland. He's cute. He's young.
He is, but he's.
That was Zendaya.
He doesn't have like. I need like masculinity. Like I really love masculine vibes.
I do too. He's British though, so he has a little bit of. I don't know. Tom Holland, I think, has masculinity. I think you just need to see him outside of his Spider-Man uniform.
Oh, Paul Walker was a hottie.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, he was hot for sure.
Oh. Why did all of those guys?
I know. It's sad.
Firefox. Do I have Firefox?
All right, I have to get ready for my next meeting. I'm so sorry, guys.
Okay.
I'm gonna end the stream and disappear.
She's gonna go throw up now, guys.
And I'm gonna go vomit. So thanks. Talk to you later.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
All right.